Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler.
What is up, Lock Shoppers? Welcome to the Lock Shop right here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Matawanek in for Dustin Nielsen. Huss will be joining me momentarily. Lots to get to on the show today. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams, edmontonsportstalk.com, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Those watching on YouTube as well as those listening on podcasts. We appreciate it very much. We've got Jays, NFL, CFL, NHL to discuss on the show today. So lots to get to. But for those watching on YouTube, you'll have seen me just laughing at the start of the show. I look up and I see myself. I'm like, Trev, I'm good to go. I'm good to start the Lock Shop. So he starts the show. And I look up on our screen here and I see I'm on camera. And I'm like, oh, I'm not hearing anything. So I just yelled at Trev, like, I'm not hearing anything. I could see levels. And then I looked down and I had my headphones plugged into my laptop, not plugged into the audio here. So I'm an idiot.
That was the first.
I'm an idiot.
That was the first. Out of all people, I never would have thought that would have happened to you. Dusty, yeah. I would be like, oh, Dusty.
Yeah. I don't know why I plugged into my laptop, but then good thing I figured that out right away.
That was quick.
Yeah, as soon as I looked down, I'm like, that's not right. Oh, okay, so it's that part. But yeah, like I didn't. Usually I hear that music playing and it's Lock Shop going. I'm finding a little prep here before we start the show, and I just look up and I'm on the screen and I see levels and I'm going, I'm not hearing anything.
That was good. Happy Tuesday, Manny.
Happy Tuesday, Trev.
Yes.
I do like that Jays hat. I'm not a Jays fan, but I do like that hat.
Thank you.
That's a good hat.
It was kind of doing something the first, I guess last series. Not so much anymore. It's lost its spark, but I don't know.
Hey,
still
day
series.
Off. Day still off series. might be what the doctor orders. Toronto Blue Jays head to Seattle. Game 3 tomorrow out in the Puget Sound, as the Toronto Blue Jays will look to try to get back into this series with Shane Bieber heading to the mound. A couple of losses this past weekend. Pitching staff great for the Seattle Mariners right now. Even yesterday, like it did start off well for the Mariners. Their pitcher that they had going, it didn't look like he had his stuff. What did he throw in like the first couple of innings? He was like over 40-some pitches. The Mariners win game 1 with 100 pitches thrown. That's it. And I felt like the Jays bats were going to be there yesterday. But after the Jays tied at 3-3, they just couldn't get anything else going. And this Mariners team is good. This Mariners team's, they've got a lot going for them. But the one thing I'll say about baseball, and look, everyone knows I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not here to try to find ways to win for the Toronto Blue Jays. But the one thing I do know about baseball, and I will give the hope for the Toronto Blue Jays fans, is that like in hockey, when a team's when the Oilers have gone off to bad starts over years, we always sit there like, they need a 6-7 game heater. And those are hard to do. In baseball, especially playoff teams, they've had a 6 or 7 game heater at some point in the season. All the good teams have also had a moment in the season where they've lost 4, 5, 6 in a row, or have had, 7 of their last 10 they've lost or something. Because it's such a long season, and again, if you're a 100-win team, which is an amazing season, that means 62 losses. You have your streaks, you have your moments. And there's nothing to say that the Seattle Mariners can't all of a sudden get cold and find a way to lose 4 of their next 5 games. And with that being said, then that the Jays can't find a way to win 4 of their next 5. It's what baseball is that it can easily switch and changes, and bats could get going, bats can get cold, pitching could get going, pitching could have its struggles. So for me, 3-0 is when it's, for me, I'll start being like, this one is done. This isn't a good start for the Toronto Blue Jays, but very much so. To me, this series isn't over. Looking at Play Alberta, though, Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow early look, plus 115 on the money line. Seattle minus 135 for the game tonight. Dodgers, Brewers. Brewers, the home dogs in this one at plus 102. The Dodgers, they are minus 119. They get going tonight, 6:08 our time. The Dodgers winning game 1 yesterday. Yamamoto, Peralta going up against each other on the mound. Lots to get to on the show today. Again, download the app, visit them, playalberta.ca. But lots happening over this weekend, and let's just get right into it. Andrew Hustler Patterson, he now joins us. And Huss, how are we doing? How was Thanksgiving?
It was awesome. I was essentially glued to a television for 14 hours a day. Physical activity was at a minimum. It was
food consumption was at a high.
It was awesome. Yeah. Well, we didn't do a big family Thanksgiving dinner this year, which, to be honest, was great because Sunday was game 1 of the Blue Jays and the Chiefs and Lions, which I'm quite looking forward to. I'm not sure whether the result of that game has anything to do with the absence of a certain regular host on the show, but that's
well. I was going to say it is quite convenient that all of a sudden Dusty doesn't want to do the lock shop today, and here I am, after the Chiefs take down the Lions. So is Dusty skirting Huss?
Listen, some people would say that, not me, because listen, fair is fair. I wasn't here last Tuesday after the Chiefs lost to the Jags, so I would not suggest that as a possibility. Others may.
I'll just say there's no Jags fans here. We have one Chiefs fan, we have one Lions fan on the lock shop, and
it was first kind of a big game.
Yeah, the first show after the fact that these two teams meet, one guy's not on the show. He did the morning show, so he's not here. Is this because the Lions lost to the Chiefs? I'll let everyone make up their mind on that one.
Some will say that. I mean, I wouldn't, but again, and then of course, yesterday, I mean, for a day off, it was just perfect. We had a noon Jet game, and we got together at the spot by my place. A bunch of people brought food, so we actually did do somewhat of a Friendsgiving operation for the Jet game, which then went into the Blue Jays, which then went into a doubleheader of Monday Night Football. So it was absolutely awesome weekend. And I don't even know, we could do a 4-hour show and we probably wouldn't get to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we do need to talk CFL. Nice win by the Elks over the Bombers. We got to get to the NFL, but I did hear you may as well start off with the Jays, considering you came right into it. Man, that was tough. And there were two things, Matt, when I look back at this, at the first two games where, I mean, listen, the games at the end, certainly game 2 wasn't particularly close. So, I mean, whatever. But game number 1, Springer hits the homer. The place is absolutely jacked. They get a couple guys on. The inability to put more runs across the plate in the first inning, I thought, was devastating because, I mean, really after that, the Seattle pitcher just found his groove. I think the Jays were no hit for 7 2/3 after that, which was, I mean, obviously offense that's not going to win you any playoff games. But, man, I got to say, I thought Savage got hosed yesterday. The first batter of the game. And if you recall, it's 1-2 count. Pitches a beautiful, beautiful ball, like right, more in the strike zone than out on the corner. The batter thought that he was out. He wasn't. And then he just got rattled a little bit after that. Next 2 pitches were balls. He then walks the next guy. So all of a sudden you go from striking out the first pitcher or the first batter and having the place going nuts to having 2 on, no out. And then, of course, J-Rod with the swing that, if the Mariners win this series, I think we'll look back at that top of the first inning yesterday as one of the crucial points in the entire game. And then they got back, and then obviously once it got to the bullpen. Are you like me? I've never seen a managerial staff so quick to yank their starting pitchers. I didn't particularly like the hook of Gausman yesterday. And even yesterday, I thought Savage was in a pretty good spot right now. And I thought that might have been early. Like, I don't know whether it's just they're feeling so high on themselves after the bullpen game against the Yankees that went so well, but they sure have had an itchy trigger finger when it comes to some of these starters.
Yeah, it doesn't that go back with Schneider a number of years ago too? Was it with Barrios? Wasn't there a quick pull, or not a quick pull, but an earlier pull of him that ultimately, I think, in a loss in a deciding game? I'll say, like, when it comes to Gausman's pull, I'll go to on the Fox broadcast, they have Derek Jeter, they have A-Rod, they have David Ortiz. I think all of them are questioning the decision, and I don't remember which one of them said it, but they're like, when you're struggling on a pitcher, when one pitcher is dealing, and Gausman was dealing, when you see anyone come in It doesn't matter if there's a pull happening, you are more energized as a batter because now it's just somebody new. You're struggling with the other guy. You're having a more difficult time getting your hits. You're just excited when it goes to the bullpen. So that just adds on it too. What was the need for that change? What was the need for that pull? And I do feel like that is sometimes like I will defend analytics. I'll defend the numbers. I think we've seen that it does matter. But sometimes I think when it comes to in games, this is where maybe it can go too far. I know, like even the Yankees and stuff, their last deciding game, starter pull too quickly. Like I just let the pitcher go. If the pitcher's feeling it, the pitcher's going. There's no stat for that. That's just a moment where you're feeling it, and you could just see that the pitcher's feeling it. I would have let Gausman go a little bit more to see what happens because look, in the end, it didn't work. You still lost. I would rather go down with my starter if they're playing well. So, I don't think I'd want to have like. Yes, there was a great game 4. I guess that would have been against the Yankees from the bullpen. The sample size though was greater of the bullpen having struggles than not.
Speaking of analytics,
right? And so maybe don't try to avoid your bullpen as much as possible. So. Yeah, I don't think that goes well. Just to that first batter yesterday, like it is comical when the batter is past, like has taken a step past the plate heading to the dugout because he thinks he's out, and you have the umpire going, "No, that's a ball." Like it when the batter's doing it, I think as an ump, he probably like, yeah, I screwed that one up then fully.
I mean, to me, the pitch challenge cannot come soon enough. I'm at the point with these guys where I would be like, if you told me that they were moving to robot umpires at the plate, I would be fine on that. Like we have enough technology that we can't not have these guys just, kind of change, like however they're feeling on a particular day. This is a strike. This isn't one. It is really frustrating. And I think it went in. I'm just looking at the chat. Bronco Nick, I blame Walker and Schneider on the loss yesterday. Savage was fine and the area wasn't on him. You still need to get more runs. I mean, we can't take the offense off the hook here for those first 2 games, but I'm sort of with you. I mean, like I didn't like it. And sheesh edits, you're right, Hustler, but this manager relies on Moneyball style of managing rather than having the feel for the game. We've seen this from the game. And Vic Diesel, Jay's got to start smashing the trash cans Astro style. Well, I thought they were doing that. Isn't that why they beat the Yankees? Wasn't that the word out there? But I mean, bottom line is Bieber needs to have a start of the year, and the Bats need to get on the road, get on that flight, get out to Seattle, start off well, get the mojo back in the Bats, and see if they can get this thing back to Toronto. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Hindsight, obviously, it's a little bit 2020 here and looking back on things, but a little concern now that maybe the Jays are experience a little. They won the World Series by knocking off the Yankees.
I mean, that shouldn't be the case. I mean, listen, they had a big party, but the baseball teams all do that every time they win. And listen, it got a lot more attention because it was the Yankees, and we saw Pappy with Vlad doing all that thing. But I mean, no, it's not like this is all bonus for the Blue Jays. Now, if you told a lot of Blue Jay fans at the start of the year, based on what their expectations were, I mean, they would have all taken this. But when you're here, when you've got home field, when you've got the best record in the AL, when you are favored in the series, losing your first 2 games at home is incredibly disappointing. So, no, I don't think there's any consolation prizes for this one. It'll be very disappointing if they go out quickly in the series. And
you think?
They get out. Yeah, I do. I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you...
Well, because the reason is like, I think as an outsider of this team, at the start of the year, it looked like this was going to be a disaster season. Like, there's no one going to be in that ballpark, newly renovated ballpark, because no one's going to care because this is a team at the bottom of the AL East yet again, and maybe near the bottom of the American League in general. And they come off of an absolutely incredible season, win the American League in the regular season, win the AL East, which is a huge thing, and are in the ALCS. That I think the sting will hurt should they lose this series. But I still think this is an unbelievable success of a season.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. I mean, it's just that you have to recalibrate your expectations of what you're going for once you get to this point. And
Sure, okay, I get that.
Like, listen, I had the over for the season. It was 78.5 wins. I mean, we got that like in the middle of August, I think. So, I mean, like they way outperformed what most people thought they were going to do this year. But at the same point, you make big ads at the deadline. You put yourself in a position to win. You do it. You beat the Yankees. I mean, the expectation was that this team would continue doing what they were doing against New York, against Seattle. And just quickly on Seattle, I have to give a tip of the cap. I mean, we've kind of talking about these last 3 days of the weekend. The Friday night classic between the Mariners and Tigers was one of the all-time great playoff games that I've ever seen.
Fantastic stuff.
Pitching in that game, I mean, it seemed like every single extra inning, both teams were getting guys on first and second or second with no out and finding a way to get out of those jams. But I think, based on what we saw with the Seattle pitching staff that night and how deep they had to go, I mean, people were essentially just giving the Jays game one before the series even started. And I don't know whether that played into it, but listen, they're up against it right now. I mean, you lose the first two. Teams that have lost the first two in best of 7 Major League Baseball series, lose the first two at home, are 3-25. So they can't think about any of those numbers other than winning game 3 and then see where you are with game 4, not knowing exactly. Is it going to be Scherzer? Is that the plan right now that he'll get up there?
Let me see if I can find if there's anything announced. According to ESPN, it's undecided at the moment.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
Max Scherzer.
They'll do that when they need to, and Castillo's going to be going for.
It's something. It's the likely starter, Scherzer, according to others, but not. I don't think it's 100% yet official.
Did you go to
no, John Schneider. This is from Keegan Matheson a couple days ago. Says Max Scherzer feels better physically now than he did a month ago. Feels like plan A would be Scherzer for game 4, but they're keeping their options open in case things get wacky. So that was from Sunday. So that and look, things may be wacky here now. If the Jays happen to fall tomorrow, that might be a situation where you switch things up and try to go something else. So he's the likely starter though for game 4.
Did you go to the football game on Saturday?
Well, I pre-post, so I'm here at the offices. So I don't get to go to those. It's interesting. The Edmonton Elks keep their hopes alive. They're looking good and they're finding a way to win. And Justin Rankin is just a little spark that gets this team going whenever he needs to. The Elks defense has just been improving immensely since the start of this season. This was a team that going into the game against Saskatchewan for Cody Fajardo's first start was giving up on average 34 points per game. Yeah. And since then, they have just completely turned it around and not even getting it from key free agent signings that Ed Hervey had this past offseason. And then for the Bombers, we said it, we were talking on Friday, like which Bombers are we going to see? And it's still like, I don't know who the Bombers are, and there's no way to guess. Like it looks like this upcoming weekend, which is going to be a big game for the Bombers against the Riders. Looks like they might get Jake Maier as the starter they're going up against, but I don't know what Bomber team I'm going to get that. I'm like, well, Jake Maier and the Riders could go beat this team still because are we getting this Bombers team? Which one? How are you feeling after this?
I think they basically are what their record says they are. They're an 8-8 team that on any given game has the ability to play like a championship level squad when everything's clicking, but they simply don't have the talent where they can win games when they don't execute at a high level and they're not at their best. And I think we saw that on the weekend. Like I was really disappointed in the Bomber offense. Like the defense overall, Cody did not have a big game. Rankin, of course, ran crazy and had that one massive play. And it kind of came down to a couple plays. I mean, the Rankin run on 3rd and 2 obviously was huge. And then that crazy special teams play where and that's that's a play that for the last 5 years goes in the Bombers' favor. You know what I mean? Like, It just seemed like everything that could happen would, and they would find a way. Well, it went the other way, and that was a big one. Let me ask you this. And I was just talking to Ed Tate about this for WST. Were you surprised, or what was the conversation on the post game like when, down 5 at the end of the game, they didn't really seem to be that aggressive in trying to get another touchdown and a 2-pointer to tie the Bombers with 13-point deficit?
Yeah, our post game show was a bit. There's it didn't feel like just a win. It also had a mix of disappointment that it was a minute 1 left or something at about midfield, and while it would have only tied for the tiebreaker at 13 points if you get a touchdown and 2 points. The fact that that's a minute's enough to go score in Winnipeg to go score points even. There's a lot of football still to be played. And the fact that they kind of just went out and chose to run the clock down and just take the victory was disappointing, because the one thing that Jay and I talked about on our pregame show was we wanted this team to be more aggressive, because we've seen this team with the coaching staff at the very least lack that aggression in games, and it's cost them. Lack of being aggressive late against Toronto and Hamilton allowed Toronto and Hamilton to get the football back, drive down the field, and kick the game-winning field goal. And those are games that are biting this team in the behind right now. And just for a bigger picture, go get those 13 points. At what point in that game they had the tiebreaker? They were up by more than the 13 points. They had it. They lost that. It came down to 5. But the ball was in your hands to go and do it. And go and at the very least get tied at 13. And then it would have went into multiple tiebreakers. And then I think it comes down to points, a division record or something. And the Elks still got a couple divisional games coming up here that it was still there. So there was a disappointment.
Lost a lot of games in the division. Yes. I mean, they're 0-3 against Calgary. They're 0-2 against Saskatchewan, 1-1 against Edmonton. So, I mean, that all came in. Anyways, that just came up. I was a little surprised that there wasn't more aggression from Edmonton. And you know what the crazy thing is, dude? The difference between the Elks having that tiebreaker essentially was the insane catch by Pokey Wilson in the end zone. Can you believe that?
Wild catch. Wild catch. But here's the one thing, though, Haas. Learn this on Saturday, too, though. There is a scenario where the Elks will be tied in points with Winnipeg and Edmonton makes the playoffs. And that's if Calgary is also tied. If there is a 3-way tie, if I'm reading these rules correctly, Calgary is at 18 points. If Winnipeg wins one game and is at 18 points, and Edmonton wins their last 2 games and is at 18 points, there's a 3-way tie, which means it goes to a head-to-head record between the 3 clubs. And because the Bombers are 0-3 against Calgary and 1-1 against Edmonton, they're below 500. Whereas the Elks, in this scenario, would then have to be up 2-1 against Calgary in their season series. They'd be 1-1 against Winnipeg. They'd be 3-2, and Calgary would be 4-2.
Here's the thing, though. In that scenario, BC loses to Edmonton next week.
Yes.
So BC goes to 9-8. BC is clinched. So BC would be in that tiebreaker too. I'm not sure that BC
would
by themselves.
BC has one more game after the BC has Saskatchewan that last game of the season, where they would then still need to go win it to go get second. There still is a possibility of a 4-way tie at 18. At that point, I still like Edmonton's record. I'd have to go look at all those.
I think the Bombers are, once you get into head-to-head tiebreakers, BC or Edmonton, they're good.
Yeah.
Anything that starts
division
building in head-to-head matchups within those teams or more is not good for Winnipeg. I think we can count.
There's a lot of chaos that could still come in the CFL, which is fascinating. And it's also hey, in Montreal, big game next weekend. If they can go take care of Ottawa one more time, we've got a lot to play for in week 21 of the CFL season again this year. And that is going to be great.
Absolutely. Listen, this is going to be really, really fun. I mean, the Bombers, win your game and book your ticket to the playoffs, but I'm not sure that, Here's the other thing that Elks fans got to be happy about. What happened in the East with Hamilton losing and Montreal winning. Now, Hamilton does have the tiebreaker, which is unfortunate for Elks fans, but they are on the bye. So if Montreal takes care of Ottawa, those teams are going to be tied going into the final week of the season. Hamilton does get Ottawa on the Friday night, so that could be a moot point. But if Ottawa was able to beat Hamilton, then all of a sudden you have Montreal in Winnipeg win and get first and the bye. So that changes everything about that game as well. Now, we'll see what the Riders bring out here. I mean, as he said, it sounds like Trevor Harris isn't going to be playing, and I'm sure they'll sit a couple guys, but we've got lots to get to over the last couple weeks before we figure out where the heck everyone is going in the CFL playoffs.
Well, the flip side to this too, like if Jared Daggy in Toronto, they fought against Saskatchewan. You know, they were there. Yeah. They got Calgary this week. If they pull off the upset and Edmonton beats BC, Edmonton Calgary, that might be for third. You know, if Winnipeg takes care of business with the Riders, and maybe they take on a Montreal team that's, you know, fully resting, and Winnipeg's going to clinch their spot. Like there's a situation we might be seeing either Edmonton or Calgary making the playoffs, whoever wins that last game of the season between the two clubs. And imagine saying in August that the Calgary Stampeders might miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's right. And Calgary has... Yeah, they're at home, as you mentioned. Yeah, Jared Daggy, and I was impressed with the Argos. I mean, they're still fighting. They're still fighting right until the end. Dinwiddie's not letting them quit.
No, but so it's going to make for an absolutely fun final couple weeks of the Canadian Football League season. Gets going again this Friday. We got the doubleheader as Saskatchewan in Winnipeg, 6:00, then BC home to Edmonton, and then we'll got the two games on this Saturday. What stood out for you most? You want to start with Chiefs Lions?
Sure, I'd love to. In fact, as disappointing as the way that the Jacksonville game went last Monday night for Kansas City, you could see that this offense was coming around. It was more a disappointment on the defense that they gave up that touchdown in the play at the end of the game. What a performance by the Chiefs defense in that game on Sunday night against Detroit. I mean, the price you have to pay to hang in there against that Lions offense. I mean, the running that they had early on with Gibbs and with Montgomery and Gibbs and Montgomery again, I mean, that can really, really take a toll on a defense. And KC ended up getting better as the game went on. I thought that, Mahomes was brilliant, and Hollywood Brown now being available and kind of working into the offense, they're kind of getting him, and what they're going to be capable of doing once Rashee Rice comes back, I think is definitely going to be a bit of a wake-up call for the rest of the league. But they needed the defense. Oh, and here's the other thing. Josh Simmons, and I still don't know what the story with this is. That's some sort of personal family matter that took him away from the club, and they didn't even find out until a few hours before the game that he wasn't going to be there. This is their starting left tackle, first-round pick, who's been phenomenal this year. And that guy that came in, and his name escapes me right now, 77, played so well. There were a bunch of guys that stepped up and got that job done. I still think Detroit is right there with the best teams in the NFC. But this was the last thing the rest of the NFL wanted to see. The Chiefs step up the way they did in prime time against a very dangerous Detroit team that a lot of people had picked to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just, at the end of the game. I mean, a 13-point win, giving up only 17 to Detroit when they, I believe, had scored the most points of any team through the first 5 games of a season. So, big smiles for Chief fans. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're getting better. And it is so funny how the narrative has shifted so far. I mean, they go from losing last game to a bunch of people writing them off to after the game on Sunday, all the talking heads go, we know who the best team in the NFL is right now, the 3-3 Chiefs. So the truth is probably somewhere in between. But I will tell you, they've survived this crazy first 6 games of the schedule. They're getting Rashee Rice back. They got the Raiders next weekend at Arrowhead. Back to 500, up and away. And at the same time, the rest of the AFC, like, I do remember coming on the Lock Shop while everyone was basically planning a parade in Buffalo and saying, hey, good start, 4-0. They've beaten teams that are 2-14.
Yep.
And now they're 4-2.
And they could have lost quite a few of those, a couple of those, games that they won. Like the Ravens game could have easily been a loss. There's a couple of other games that their record, it looked better than they were going into these. It's actually funny looking at the AFC standings right now because the division leaders right now are the Patriots, Steelers, Colts, and Chargers. It's like we're back in 2009 or something like that with, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, and Phillip Rivers. Yet again, I don't want to overreact to the Bills losing 2 games because the Bills are a great football team still.
Yeah.
But I don't know who the best team in the AFC is right now. And even when you go to the NFC, like, are the Bucs the best team? Just outright right now in the NFC? Because, like, the Eagles have been having their struggles. The Packers, they go beat the Bengals, but they do lose to the Browns. They have a tie against the Cowboys. Like, who are the top teams right now in the National Football League?
Well, I mean, listen, and I'm going to be stumping as we go into the second half of the season and trying to come up with all these reasons why Mahomes is the MVP and he should be a finalist. But, dude, what Baker's doing right now with the Bucs is incredible. Like, you asked me, are the Bucs the best team in the NFC? I think we have to give them the number 1 team in the NFC. I mean, first of all, they're the only 5-win team. Second of all, they just go on the road and beat Seattle. I mean, this game they won on Sunday, they did it without Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin, without their starting tackle, without Bucky Irving, and then without Mbuka. I mean, essentially, he's got a bunch of guys that were probably driving Uber a month ago that are now catching passes for him. And he's a warrior. That the run that he had on the 3rd and 14 in that game was a play that, frankly, I think on its own elevates him into, listen, we're here thinking about these Browns quarterback situations. Like, man, Baker, and what a crazy journey too. Like, goes to Carolina, released from there, picked up by McVay, 48 hours later, wins a game in prime time, and then gets a chance to restart his career in Tampa Bay. I mean, I think that if you had to be real right now, and I know it was Allen, then Mahomes, then Baker going into this week, I think Baker Mayfield right now, if people were voting, would win the MVP of the league right now. And frankly, the guy deserves it. This is a really good team that is going to be a lot better when they get their top playmakers back. And it's amazing they've been able to win these games. Like, what's Baltimore doing without their top players?
Yeah.
The exact opposite of what Tampa's doing right now.
Can't make a stop, can't get anything done, can't move the football. Now, no Lamar Jackson right now, but you said that the Chiefs got through their hard part of the schedule and they're sitting 3-3, so now it's nice. Ravens now gone through their hardest part of their schedule, but they've created a massive mountain that they're going to go have to climb. One that is climbable if they get back healthy, and you look at the roster that they have here. But they are that cautionary tale of injuries aren't just an excuse for why you lose football games. Teams can't overcome it, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are absolutely that. Baker Mayfield, I've got him as 3rd at Play Alberta, plus 345 for the MVP right now. Mahomes is number 1 at plus 195. Josh Allen's plus 295. Baker Mayfield's 3rd at plus 345. Drake May is 4th at 1210.
You know what? Mr. May is definitely going to be getting a lot of love right now. And I do see this. Like, Allen was like minus 140 or something, or maybe it was plus 140 last week. So he has has sort of reversed. I'm here for Drake May. Like, he has been awesome so far this year. Now, I'm not quite putting him in a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but the fact that they've got, these 4 wins so far, that game they beat the Bills, that was their first game on primetime in like 2 years.
Yep.
So the Patriots are a legitimate team again right now. I still think the Bills win that division, but I mean, going in and beating Buffalo on the road the way New England did last year has set them up to be, I think, thought of in a bit of a different light right now. They took care of business against the Saints. Thank you. Covered the number as well. And now it's time to move on from there. But you just quickly, outside of those top three, where are there any other numbers on I'm interested in just who else is on that list. You mentioned Drake Mays at 4th in and around 12 to 1, you said?
Yeah. Just almost 16-1, Jared Goff. Same with Matthew Stafford. Jordan Love at 18-1 almost. Justin Herbert, 23-1. Daniel Jones at 27-1. And then Sam Darnold at 40-1. Lamar's down to 4,400. That's not going to happen. Jaden Daniels at 4,100. So 41 to 1. Dak is 44 to 1. What's funny though is looking at the Patriots right now, and I never understood this decision at the time when it happened. But now you go see the news yesterday of the Tennessee Titans firing their coach Brian Callahan. They've now, you sit there and you go, why did they ever get rid of Mike Vrabel? Like, and at the time, it seemed like that was a very quick change. That was a quick firing. But it's like Mike Vrabel's a damn good coach. He got you some pretty nice wins. Why are you firing Mike Vrabel? And how nice would Mike Vrabel look right now with the Titans and possibly trying to build something with a number 1 pick in Cam Ward that he's now kind of doing with the New England Patriots and Drake May. But the Titans just one of those, it's just very dysfunctional organization. Doesn't get talked about enough. There's the dysfunction that maybe is going on with the Tennessee Titans, but they have this great coach in Mike Vrabel. Fire him, and now he's doing some things where he rightfully belongs. I'll say that. Like if they're more than Jared May, if there's a guy that may, or there's a guy that should replace Bill Belichick, it probably should have been Mike Vrabel, but you had him, and you let him go. Literally, let him go.
The Titans are such a mess. I don't think they had any choice. What Callahan was 4-19 during his time. I mean, you're wasting a year with the number 1 pick. Bad news for the Titans is they've got Mike McCoy, and I'm not sure if he's still wearing the women's golf visor that he always used to with the Chargers. Feinberg always ranted on that, but they are there. You know what we haven't done, and I have not seen these. We can do a quick guess the lines for the NFL because I've been so locked in on everything else. I have not seen these lines this week.
We could also actually do guess the lines for the CFL too.
Yes.
Okay. You haven't seen the NFL lines?
We've got no.
Okay. So I'll quickly run through the CFL ones, then we'll get to the NFL.
Okay.
You got Riders at Bombers.
Riders at Bombers, Jake Mayer starting. I'm going to say Winnipeg -3.
Winnipeg -5.5.
5.5. Okay. I mean, that's nice for the Bombers. But again, that just shows the Saskatchewan's resting starters. 5.5 is a big one.
Elks at BC. My guess on Saturday was 4.5.
I was going to say BC -4.
It's BC -5.5.
Hey, the Elks are 9-1 against the number in their last 10. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's it. Yes. Montreal Alouettes -8.5. Oh, sorry. I just told you. I should have. I forgot to ask you to guess.
That's in Ottawa? Or
that's in Ottawa. Sorry, I screwed that one. But yeah, -8.5 for Montreal. So they've come down from the double digits.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the road game. And then the final game of the week is what Calgary.
Toronto at Calgary.
Calgary -8.
Close. Calgary -9.5.
9.5. Okay.
Yeah. So now the NFL.
So some big numbers. Okay. Yeah. Now let's get to the NFL.
So we've got Thursday nighter. The 4-1 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on Joe Flacco and the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals.
Pittsburgh -3.5.
Pittsburgh -5.5.
5.5. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going in that zone.
So then we get to, we got another. How many European games do we have this year? There's a lot.
There's 7 in total.
Is it 7 in total? Okay.
The
Rams at Jags overseas.
Rams -3.
Nailed it. Dead on.
Yes.
Dead on. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles in Minnesota to take on the Vikings.
Wow. Vikes off the bye.
Vikings off the bye. They're
Carson
3-2.
Wentz revenge game.
Eagles have lost 2 straight.
Yeah, Eagles have not looked good at all. How about Philly -3?
Philly -1.5.
Oh, wow, shorter than that. Okay, I was gonna say 2.5, and I thought a short favorite. All right. Well, I mean, Philly has not looked good at all, so I can understand why that number's a little closer. Vikes have been a good home team as well.
You got a team will have won 3 straight, in the Chicago Bears. They are home to the New Orleans Saints, who are at 1-5.
Bears -6.5.
Oh, so close. 5.5. Bears
5.5.
-5.5. Your Chiefs, home to the Raiders.
Ooh. Well, there's going to be a massive overreaction right now. I know the Raiders won their last game. They're not very good. People are back in on the Chiefs. This could be double digits. Chiefs -9.5.
You were right on double digits. Would you care to guess again?
11?
12.5.
Oh, okay. That's
Chiefs are back.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, just we're now having to swallow the Chiefs tax on every point spread against lower teams.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I mean, remember, like the last 2 years, like they never covered a spread.
Yes.
Like this number, this is like a 2019 Chiefs number where, okay, they probably should be 9-point favorites. Let's just add an extra field goal on because they're the Chiefs.
Would you like to guess what the money line is for the Chiefs?
I mean, a 12-point favorite, like -1,200, -1,100,
-769.
-769.
So a tough one there.
Still a huge number in the division too.
You've got another game. This is a game I think we're all going to be so focused on. This should be prime time. This should have been the Sunday nighter. You got the Carolina Panthers at the New York Jets. The New York Jets finishing their last game at -10 team passing yards.
Amazing. Big win for the Panthers. Keep pounding. They're 3-3 now.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't know how the Jets can be favored against anybody, even at home. I'll go Carolina -1.5.
Nailed it.
That's
Carolina -1.5. Like -10 team pass yards. Now, Justin Fields finished with like 45 passing yards, but it's when you take sacks, you lose in the NFL.
55 yards backwards.
-10 team passing. Like at some point, London's going to be like, we don't want these games anymore if you're going to keep sending us like the New York Jets or something.
Did you see what happened at the end of the first half in that game?
No.
I mean, this is as bad as it gets. So they're down whatever, like, you know, it's the end of the first half. I can't remember whether it was 10-6 at that time. I think maybe it was 10-6. And they've got the ball at, well, basically midfield. And there's 28 seconds or so. And they're sort of in the hurry up. And Fields gets there. The guys are lined up and they look over. And he's waiting for the play call. And the clock goes down. And he's waiting for the play call. And he looks over. And Aaron Glenn says something. And you look over. And they just let the clock run out. I guess when you're passing, when you're more likely to go backwards than forwards, the running clock is your friend. That's all I can think of. But he seems overmatched. I mean, I like defensive coordinators that can come in and be great leaders and everything like that. Oh man, I don't know whether they might have whiffed again when it comes to the head coach. But yeah, the Jets.
You've got the Titans at home to the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel back in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I might add a couple points just because of that. Fired the coach, Mike McCoy. Let's go New England -8.5.
-7. New England -7.
Okay.
Browns home to those Dolphins is Tua saying, people skip practices or meetings.
Please tell me this is the Sunday nighter.
Unfortunately, another game that's just locked in on that early slate and not given to us in prime time.
Geez, not enough people are going to see this classic.
The over-under is set at 40, by the way.
40. I'm going to go Cleveland -1.5.
Cleveland -3.
Oh, -3. Wow.
Now we're getting into the afternoon slate of the Sunday. So you got Colts at Chargers.
Ooh, very interesting game.
Yeah, Chargers looking to bounce back from almost blowing it against the Dolphins. Or that should have been a victory and, have to pick it up late. And the Colts just doing good things.
I would suggest the other way around. I mean, I don't know if you saw that play that, he hit McConkey to score the winning field goal, but I mean, he should have been sacked. Like they had Herbert in the backfield, and listen, Herbert is gutsy, man. He managed to roll out of it and rip that play. And then obviously McConkey makes a great move. They get like 40 yards, but if he gets sacked there, they lose. And that would have been a devastating one for it. Indianapolis at the Chargers. I'm going to say pick 'em.
Chargers -2.
Chargers -2. Okay, so this says Colts -1 on a neutral field.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I just think they're so broken up right now. I mean, Indy's rolling. I'll be taking the Colts in that game.
You got Jackson Dart going to Denver to take on Bo Nix and the Broncos.
Oh, the upstart Giants. Everyone's so high on them after that Thursday nighter. We forget that they lost in New Orleans the week before. I'm going to go Denver -4.5.
-7. Denver -7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Giving them a lot of love. That one. Green Bay Packers head out to Arizona, take on the Cardinals.
Green Bay -7.5.
Green Bay -6.5.
Okay.
And then we've got Commanders at Cowboys. Commanders after this Bears loss from yesterday.
Wow. Is that the Monday nighter?
No, we haven't even hit Sunday nighter yet.
Oh, nice. A lot of buys next week, I guess.
No, just 2. Buffalo and Baltimore, the only 2 teams on bye. Oh, not a lot of buys, yeah.
So Washington on the road in Dallas. I'm going to go Cowboys -1.
No, they've got Commanders -1.5.
Okay. I mean, I was going to say pick 'em, but I don't know why the Commanders would be favored right now. Although I guess Dallas did just lose the game. Bottom line, this is going to be a close game.
Why is it the sun's going to be involved? Is the sun at this time of the day not come through the glass at Cowboy Stadium?
Could
or
be
AT&T?
that time of year with those late window games.
Okay, now the Sunday nighter, and then there's 2 Monday nighters again next weekend. The Sunday nighter is the San Francisco 49ers home to the Atlanta Falcons, who have just come off that big win against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and what's left of the San Francisco 49ers? Let's go Niners. I'm going to go back to the 1.5.
Niners -2. So
-2. Okay.
close. And then the Monday nighters. This is going to be a fun one. The first one. You got the Detroit Lions home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions looking to come off of the loss to the Chiefs. Bucs looking to keep it rolling. Fun game for 2 top teams in the NFC.
Awesome
in Detroit
game.
again.
Awesome game. I would say that this should be a pick 'em. Obviously, Detroit's going to have the home field. They'll get points for that. And Tampa is so banged up right now. I'm going to go Detroit -3.5.
Detroit -4.5.
4.5.
Yeah. So you were thinking along those lines.
I figured it would be just over 3. I bet if it's 4.5 right now, I bet Tampa gets bet. I bet it ends in and around 3 or 3.5.
And then finally, to end out next weekend, it'll be the Seattle Seahawks home to the Houston Texans.
Oh, geez, that'll be a good one. Seattle minus 6.5.
Oh, I refreshed my page. Oh, there we go. Seattle minus 4.
Oh,
so there you go. There's the upcoming weekend of the CFL and the NFL with the lines. The early
always a fun exercise to go through all these. And again, it feels like Monday. It is Tuesday. Got to get your picks ready for the upcoming week. Fantasy waiver wires, all those things. Yes, that is happening today.
Yeah, and then now we have the NHL too going on. This, as you mentioned it, we're getting close. The NBA gets going on when's the regular season start? It's like next weekend, isn't it? Next Tuesday, I believe it is. So we're about a week away now from possibly, I'll have to look at some of those, the baseball schedules, having the equinox where we'll have all 4 sports going on like the Thursday or something like that. But it's that fun time of sports here where there's a lot happening, a lot going on. Huss, got to let you go right away for WST. Oilers tonight. Oilers Rangers. It's the start of a 5-game road trip on the road. First, the 3 New York teams: Rangers, Islanders, Devils. They'll also get the Red Wings and the Sens in there. GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show 4:00. Tom, we'll get you set for that one right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. What's coming up on WST, Huss?
Well, I mean, we got to dive into the Bombers loss. Ed Tate's going to join us. Great weekend for the Jets. Mike McIntyre is going to jump on. We'll kind of get into the Jays situation heading into the weekend or into the games in Seattle with Josh Goldberg. And we'll hit the lines and maybe cook something up for tonight. I do like the Oilers to win. And I think after an embarrassing weekend where the Leafs lost back-to-back against the Detroit Red Wings, I think we see maybe a big game from the Leafs tonight. I'm looking at that puck line plus 133. Just as a parting gift for everyone if you're looking for a hockey pick tonight. Maddie, always fun doing the show with you.
Absolutely. Likewise. Dusty, I think he'll be able to come on tomorrow after that loss, but we'll see. We'll see if he'll be here to face the music for that one. Huss, enjoy WSD. I'll talk with you later this week.
Thanks, fellas. Shout out to the chat. You guys have a great one.
There's Huss, WST, him and Remus. That's coming up on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Go check them out. It's always fun talking to Huss. And I'm not used to doing Lock Shop early in the week, so I always forget to go check those lines. So I'm glad he threw that out there. The Elks, 5.5. I went 4.5 when I was guessing on Saturday. I thought it was going to be 4.5. So I don't know. It's a good line right now, I think, for the Elks. The Elks could keep that close at the very least. This is a team that's, for the last number of months, they have found a way to, it has at 9-1 against the spread. Or so I think that line will move a little bit closer to the Elks by the time that game's going. So the 5.5. It's a nice number right now if you're liking the Edmonton Elks to cover in that football game. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coming up on EST, we've got 2 guys in goalie, Reed, Gager, Cass. We've got EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gager. We got the Reed Wilkins Show with Reed, Jay, Zach. That goes from 3 until 6. However, at 4 o'clock, there'll also be the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tommy Benny will get you set for Oilers and Rangers, and they'll also have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show for you once that one ends. Again, thank you to tuning into the Lock Shop. Enjoy the Oiler game tonight. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Enjoy 2 Guys, which is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.